Hello and namaste everyone. We're back with another banger episode of Arsenal Nepal Talks. It's Africa final today, and I hope you are all excited. And Arsenal will try to redeem their worst domestic season as they aim for a slice of silverware and the last gasp shot at a European finish. Okay, on fourth we have an Arsenal legend, integral part of successful Arsenal side of 1980s, early 1990s, and winning. He has won League Cup in 1987, First Division in 1989 and 1981. He also won Cup Double in 1993 and Cup Winners' Cup in 1994. Let me welcome you guys to this Arsenal legend, Paul Davies. Hello, Paul.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm looking forward to my time with you.
Okay, guys. So this Africa final today. How are you feeling? We have played Chelsea. I think a couple of times before in the cup final. So let me start with our special guest, Mr. Paul Davies. Paul, how are you feeling about the final?
Well, I'm feeling pretty confident. I like what Arteta's doing with the team and with the players. Since he's taken over, he seems to have a clear way that he wants the players to play. The players seem to be responding, and I've seen some real big improvements with what he's doing. So I'm really optimistic with today's game. We've got some really exciting players, and I think we've got the right manager in place right now to bring out the best in the players. So I'm really looking forward to the game. I think because Chelsea are a good team, they're gonna give us a game. So if both teams play to their capabilities, I think we'll be in for a good game. I think Chelsea will. I've watched Chelsea quite a lot, and they are a team that want to attack and play football. I think we've got more of a solid, more organised team than Chelsea at the moment. But yeah, it's going to be a good game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Of course.
Okay, so getting along with the show has been the most important asset for Arsenal this season. Every player has his part to play, but a player that crosses your mind when you talk about 2019-20 season.
Yeah, it's been a really tough season for us, hasn't it? In terms of performance overall, it's been a difficult season. I think obviously under Unai Emery, it didn't go the way that we'd all liked, and so that was a tough time for the club and for the players and for the fans. But since Arteta's come in, I think there's a lot more optimism around the ground. I live about maybe 10 miles from the stadium, and quite a few Arsenal supporters where I live. So I get a feeling of how people feel, and there's a lot more optimism now since Arteta's come in. Player-wise, you have to look no further than I think the younger players that have come in and done really, really well, and obviously particularly the one that stands out for most fans and football followers has been Saka. He's been outstanding in whatever he's been asked to do. So, I think Saka's done fantastically well. Willock and Reece Nelson have done well also, but not as well as Saka. Saka's just outshone most of them. And then we've had Martinelli, who's unfortunately he's been out injured the last few games, but when he came in, he did well for himself. So we've had one or two. There's been some disappointments with performances and individuals, but I think the younger players have been a shining light, and I would say probably Saka for me has been. I was fortunate enough to do some work with him about 4 or 5 months ago, no, maybe a bit longer, about 10 months ago. I do some work with the England coaching setup, and he was in one of the national teams, and I was involved in one of the England national teams, and I think he was the under-18s, and he came along and he was in the group, and this is obviously before he got into the Arsenal team, and even at very very shortly after meeting him, I could see that he's very concentrated. This guy has got a mental strength. Obviously, he's got the ability, but he's such a pleasure to be able to work with. And so I just worked with him for 10 days with obviously a lot of the other young guys that were there. But yeah, he's going to be a major player. I'm so pleased that we've signed him for, I think, 5 more years. That was crucial that we've done that. But I think we're in really good hands with Arteta as well. I did some work with Arteta with his coaching, probably about 5 or 6 years ago now, when he first started out on his coaching badges. And I actually helped him through his first initial qualifications. And you could see very early on that he understood the game. He knew what he wanted. He was able to articulate it. And I knew from then that given the opportunities that this guy's going to go on and do something really big. And I still believe that's going to happen. I think I've answered your question and more. Saka's the main one, is the key player.
Yeah, it's okay, Paul. Yeah, Saka has proved himself in left back position, left winger position. He has been playing as a center attacking midfielder as well. He has proved himself as right winger as well. I agree with you that Saka has been an asset to us this season. But I'll go directly to Paul. Paul, there are many questions, many queries from our fans to you. But I'll just pick some of them, and I could see some comments about there. I'll just ask you a few questions. First one is, you were a midfielder once. You played in the historic 89 win for Arsenal. And in this team, in Arteta's team, we see a lack of creativity. Do you think it's lack of creativity in the midfield, or the particular number 10 position, or number 8, or traditional number 4? What do you think is lacking in this midfield? This is one question. And other one is about the transfers. What do you think, Thomas Partey? He has been rumored with Arsenal for a long time now, and we can see the news about Coutinho as well. So, do you think Coutinho and Partey will add something to this team and will help us next season?
Yeah, I think the midfield area has been lacking in terms of creativity. I don't think Guendouzi or Torres in midfield are particularly creative players. Obviously, Özil has been out of the team for such a while now, and his creativity hasn't been there for a while. So, yeah, I do believe we are lacking in that area of the pitch. The Spanish, is it Parkin, the midfielder for from Atletico Madrid? I think he is more of a defensive type of player, but I do like him. I think he's really is a solid player, and I wouldn't mind us getting him to the club, because I think he would be a definite plus. But as for the creative side of the midfield, we do lack in that part, and I think it would help to have. I think we've got, obviously going forward, we've got good forward players. I think we probably need one solid holding midfield player like Parky from Atletico Madrid, and perhaps another attacking midfield player. So yeah, who was the other one that you mentioned? Was that
Ozil? I mentioned about the number 10 role in this team.
Yeah, you mentioned the player. Was it?
I think it's Coutinho.
Coutinho,
I mentioned Coutinho,
yeah. Yeah, possibly happen. I do like him, but I'm not sure whether that will happen. But yeah, it's definitely an area that we need to look to strengthening.
Okay, Paul, I just found one very interesting comment in this for you. It's from Raunak Lamsari. He says, how can we instill the George Graham era grit and mental strength to this Arsenal team? Do you think that is the prime reason why we haven't been able to climb to the top even after the Emirates debt has been paid off? You have played in George Graham era. That I think it was one of the most successful eras in Arsenal football history. So just take us through that time. What did you you used to feel in those times, and what do you see now? What's the difference?
Yeah, so really what George Graham did when he came and took charge of the team, so that we're going back in time now. So we're going back into sort of 85, 86, 1985, 1986. So a long time ago. But into the club was we weren't having a great time. We were sort of mid-table. And he came in. I remember, for those that don't know, George was a former player at Arsenal. So he knew he used to play at the club, and then he was managing elsewhere, and then he came back as a manager. And he had a structure when he came in. Every player knew their role within that structure. He was very regimental in what he wanted from us. We knew what to do, when to do it as a team, and we got success. Plus, he had some good players. We had some good young players at the time, and Michael Thomas, Dave Rocastle, players in the end, Kevin Campbell, and many others that came through who knew what it was like to play for Arsenal. So George used young players well. He organised the team well. He built a mentality that we stuck together, which pulled us through a lot of games. We had a good mentality, strong mentality, good team organisation. A lot of the players were pretty fearful of George, because he was quite hard on you in terms of the expectations. And by and large, if you didn't deliver on the pitch, you were out of the team. And there was no sort of measures taken in that. But he knew what he wanted, and we had success. So from 87 right through into sort of 90, 92, 7 years, I would say, we had really great success with the players and with George. And you're right, I think the club then lost its way a little bit. I mean, Arsene Wenger came in and did well, but then towards the end, there wasn't as many homegrown players in the team. And I think you really need that. You need some homegrown players, which have started to get back now, to get that mentality. So, yeah, we had a good mentality. We had a good organisation. George was good with his tactics, and we won some really good competitions. But I think now we've got a manager who's got it all for me. He absolutely knows. Obviously, he's been with the best in Pep Guardiola, so he knows what the best looks like, and he's worked. He's been a top player himself, so he studied the game. Like I said to you before, I was fortunate enough to do some work with him when he first started his coaching, and I know the mentality that he's got and the knowledge that he's got, and I think he'll bring success to Arsenal if the club supports him in the right manner. If they give him the players that he needs and give him the support that he needs, I've no doubt he's going to bring success back to Arsenal.
Yeah, Paul, thank you for your insight.
Listen,
yeah, Paul.
Before I go, because I'm going to have to go in a minute, I just want to show what everybody's playing for today. So I don't know if everybody can see this.
Okay.
Can it be seen?
That's incredible, yeah.
Paul, is that Premier League winners medal?
FA.
This is what they're playing for today. This is the FA Cup.
Oh.
Yeah. So we won it in 93. I don't know if you want to see that. Is that seeable?
Yeah, definitely. Paul, if you want my address, I can just, send that over, and you can just chuck it in the mail and send it over.
Very nice. We've got another one here just to show you. This is the excuse me. If you can see that one.
Oh, that's incredible.
Oh my God! Yeah.
That was the I don't know if any of you guys are around back then. That was the Little Woods Cup, the first one that George won. It's like the replica of the trophy.
Yeah.
I'll show you one last one before I have to go.
Okay.
So, 89. Excuse me. we won at Anfield. This is the trophy. This is the little medal that they give us.
Is it from the 89?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was one of the best finishes to the Premier League. Yeah, we can say.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, Michael Thomas. I saw him the other day actually.
Okay, Paul, thank you for joining with us. For lastly, I'd like to ask you some message for Arsenal Nepal fans and to Arsenal Nepal, and I'd like to ask you to visit us sometime, and maybe we could watch the match together.
I'd love to do that. Come out there and see you guys. Good to see that we got so much support all over the world and in places like where you are there, Nepal, and hope you enjoy the game today. And it's good to know that we've got your support out there. So thank you for having me on, and hope you all enjoy the game.
Okay, Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Paul.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Paul. Bye-bye.